Hi everybody, it's time for another yoga practice, so I'd love it if you would join me on the yoga mat and have a little practice, maybe about 20 minutes. If you have any injuries, as usual, go nice and easy and be kind to yourself. And I'm going to reverse myself now and get onto my yoga mat, and we're going to start the session from standing today. So, here we are. Let's firstly take the feet so that they're about hip distance apart, and just slowly with an inhalation take both arms up and over, stretch and lengthen and reach up, maybe lengthen. You might notice I'm taking one heel away from the floor as I stretch. You can't do this wrong. Just feel yourself lengthening, and then release the arms, shake out the arms, bend the knees, take a little bit of loosening off, roll the shoulders, shrug them up, let them go, and then shake out each leg. So stand on one leg, shake out the other. I hope you're all going okay in this strange lockdown life. I've been doing a lot of walking. I think the last post and class I presented, I was mentioning I'm doing really a lot more walking, and so the hamstrings are getting a little bit tight. So just be careful with that and make sure you're stretching out as much as possible if you're doing the same kinds of things. So let's just take a moment and stand. So standing in our neutral standing position, Tadasana. I'd love it if you would close your eyes, take some deep, slow breaths in through the nose and out through the nose if possible. Breathing in, breathing out, just a rhythm, a pace that feels just perfect. Relax the shoulders, let the arms be soft, lengthen through the back of the neck, unlock the knees if you have them kind of jammed in and feeling tight, just a little bit of softness. And then just feel the earth beneath your feet. Excellent. Now opening the eyes, we're going to widen the feet a little bit, take a bit more space, take a little bit of arm wrapping, and let the hands, if you can, wrap and flop onto the waist. You can be turning the head and lifting a heel away rather than having rigid tightness through the hips and the knees. And see if you can take this with a looseness through the arms so that the shoulders, and you can turn. This is a really lovely way to awaken and just get the circulation, so it's great for the morning. Excellent. Bring the feet a little closer together, shake them all off. And I thought we'd actually start with a balance today. So take both feet to the floor. We're going to stand on one leg and hug onto one leg. Hold it right up. Lengthen. You can hold behind the back of the knee if that's better for you. What I'm then going to ask you to do is to take the leg out to the side, and then with the opposite arm, take a right angle bend. So you've got the hip open. You've got the opposite shoulder open. You can flex the toes up of the leg you're holding onto, and you can take the chin mudra with the opposite hand fingers, index finger and thumb. So see if you can find a little bit of stillness there. And then bring the leg forward and slowly let that foot come back to the floor. Shake out the legs, And let's take this to the other side. So there's a little bit of hip work here. So if you feel a little tight, you can always do a little bit of loosening off of the hips before you take this. So I'm now going to be standing on the opposite foot. Take weight and back to the balance. Lifting the knee as high as you can. Let the shoulders soften down. And then taking the hand onto the leg only, open. Right angle bend in the opposite elbow. Flex, in my case, the right toes up. Keep breathing. Now I'm going to fall out of that. So carefully, when you're ready, come out of that position. And then come back to stand. Close the eyes. Take some lovely, slow, deep breaths in. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then widen the legs, turn the toes out. So you've got the outward rotation in the hips again. And we're going to take the goddess. So take a slow shimmy down an imaginary wall. Bend those knees. Keep the knees open. And just feel the stretch on the inner thighs and the inner legs. But if you need to come out and go back in, you can move in and out several times. Sometimes that's a good idea just for preparing. And then find the right position and then take the arms into a right angle bend. Imagine that the palms of the hands are moving back to an imagined wall and the inner elbows are moving forward. So you can really feel the stretch across the front of the chest. You can be bending those knees a little more if you feel able, but try and keep the knees aligning to the middle toes. And then take a breath in as you move up, lower the arms. You can keep the legs wide, but then I'd like you to hug yourself. You're going to have one arm on top of the other. So most of you know I like to set this position up for the eagle arm stretch. And for some of you, maybe this is where you stay. Otherwise, you're going to let the arms come away. And just so that you can see side on, we're in the eagle arm position. Take my legs back. So you might be taking the leg position, knees wide, moving down into that high squat. Or you might be taking the position with the knees straight. So whatever kind of feels right. Okay, and so inhale, relax, unravel the arms, widen, and other arm now on top, and hug. Hug yourself. Notice when you've got the arms wrapped around you and you're breathing deeply, you can feel that kind of squashing in front of the chest. And then take the hands, bring them closer together. You might be having hand on hand, or you might be holding onto a thumb. You might not be holding onto anything, and as always, if that's your stretch, then just be with that. And if you choose to, you can shimmy again down that imaginary wall, keep the knees wide. And remember, the side-on view is, so just to put it into context in case we've been away for a while, so you all are very familiar with these yoga postures. Okay, and then inhale, release, unravel the arms, and now turn the feet, lower the arms, turn the toes so that they are facing forward. Now widen the legs just a little bit more, and then slowly, a little bit of softness in the knees, not locked in. Slowly bring yourself down so that you can have the hands on just above the knees and you might be able to have the sense that the spine is parallel to the floor. So I'm going to turn around so that you can just make sure that I'm off my mat, but it doesn't matter, so that you know where we're heading. So we're in that position. Tuck the chin a little bit, let the crown of the head be extended, so you don't want to be dropping the head. And feel the stretch now in the backs of the knees, backs of the legs, backs of the calves. Good. And then some of you might be able to slide the hands down towards the ankles, or basically stop at a point where you know you need to stop. So you might have the hands onto the ankles, you might even have the hands onto the feet. Thanks, Harry Angus. I don't want your bottom in my face. And you can also have the hands on the floor. But if you're not that far down, come up a little bit. Have the hands a little higher up the legs. Good. And then soften the knees, slowly raise the head, and bring yourself back upright. Bring the feet back closer in together, shake them off, and then come to stand at the rear of your mat. And what we're going to do is move down into a downward facing dog from standing. And we're going to just slowly move ourselves down. Now, if you shouldn't really have your head down, then kind of look forward or just stop wherever. And then taking the fingertips to the floor and walk yourself out. Walk yourself out. Get to that familiar, oh yes, I'm now in the downward facing dog. But can you walk it out? One heel down, lift the other, and just allow the calves and the hamstrings to get a little bit of softening, releasing stretch without it being too much too soon. Come right up onto the toes, lift those heels, and then ease both heels down towards the floor. Looking at your hands maybe, and drawing the navel in towards the spine. Coming up onto the toes, bringing the weight a little further forward, taking the weight back towards the heels. And then let's bring the knees to the mat and take the child pose. Now the arms could be in front or the wrapped around behind you, forehead to the mat. Harry, stop it. And just allow the breath to be really soft, slowly, slowly. And then bring yourself up so that you're kneeling. Now, if you are not a kneeling person, if you've got knee issues, come up to high kneeling and just take, you guys who are protecting knees, let yourself come into the cat-cow. So you're just moving in and out of the cat-cow. And everyone can do this if you choose to. But the other option I was thinking about is having the toes tucked under, bringing the buttocks back to the heels and sliding both arms forward and having this stretch. It's kind of like a little dog. Forehead can be closer to the mat or on the mat, or could also be that the forehead is slightly lifted from the floor. The toes get a stretch, the fascia in the soles of the feet get a stretch, and the whole length of the spine. Good. And then come back up to all fours. Tuck the toes under. We're going to come back up to the downward facing dog. We're going to lift the hips And then what we're going to do from here is slowly walk the feet and the hands towards each other and allow ourselves to just fold forward. Relax the head, relax the arms, relax the shoulders. Don't lock the knees in. And then lift the head, bend the knees, bring the arms forward, and let's find ourselves in a chair. Hands could be resting on the front of the chest, or the hips, or out in front of you at shoulder height. So the emphasis is very much on the strengthening of the legs, and if you choose to, you can be kind of squatting down just a little bit more. And then let's inhale, come all the way up, looking up, opening the front of the body, looking forward, letting the arms come down. Roll the shoulders, take the legs wide. Good. Inhale, raise the right arm, stretch up, take a side stretch. Inhale, come all the way up. Bend the elbow, let the arm come back down alongside the body. And then inhale, raise the other arm. So lengthening up, stretching through the side of the body, excuse me, and then taking the side stretch. Keeping the weight even on both of your feet. Inhale, coming all the way up, bending the elbow, bringing it back down. And I'm going to suggest you do this twice more to each side. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, taking the side stretch. Good. Just with your own pace of breath. So you don't want to be rushing this. You want to be breathing in, lengthening up, foot filling, exhaling, slowly moving to the side stretch, letting the weight stay even on both of your legs, your feet. And so for me, that's once more to each side. Inhale. So just lovely, lovely, lovely lengthening stretch up. Side stretch, opening the side body. And then releasing. And then bringing the feet a little closer in and taking some hip circles. So bend the knees, releasing the hips, go into the reverse direction. Good, and then coming back up so that you are back to standing. Shake out. And then inhale, bring the arms all the way back up, kind of just where we began. So stretch it up, reach up, lengthen, lengthen, and then bring the arms back down alongside the body. Stand for a moment. Nice and still. And observing through the breath. Just noticing how you feel after this little sequence. And feel the air in the nose as you breathe. Feel the connection that you have made through the practice. And when you're ready, blink the eyes open. And I hope that this little standing sequence, little bit of opportunity to stretch and move, has sparked a little bit of joy. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again, and it won't be long until we're back at our classes at Kuring-Gai Yoga at Pimble, we'll be waiting for the go-ahead, and that's fast approaching. So have a lovely remainder of the day, whatever time you're viewing, and I'll check in again with you really soon. Bye.